Today, I want to talk about the Vaxee XE wireless mouse right here. And no, this isn't going to be no unboxing or first impressions phony baloney. You know I like to bring you that user's experience and that actual user's review. And there's a lot I want to cover about the Vaxee XE wireless. And number one, let's squash the elephant in the room and let's talk about the weight of this gaming mouse. And taking a look at it on the scale here, we are getting 75.8 grams. For some different references, let's go and slap the Detachable V3 Pro on here, 63.4. Now let's go on and pull out the Endgame Gear XM wireless, 62. Just another one here, Lamzu Atlantis, we are getting 54.7. And for grins and giggles, you know, a mouse I compared it to in my previous video was a Sensei 10, 92.9 grams. Again, coming back over here to the XE wireless, 75.8. So is the XE wireless heavy? Well, I brought out the Sensei 10 looking at an older mouse up into the 90s right there. That's heavy, right? I would put this as heavy for the time being. Seeing what we're getting these days, again, that V3 Pro, the XM wireless right there, this is heavy for the competition we're seeing right now, and it kind of makes you scratch your head and say, why? So we'll cover that a lot more in this video here. But as far as what you get in your box, well, you get your mouse, you get your detachable charging cable here. Not the greatest cable. I don't think you're really going to want to use it. Now you see it does have the teeth up on the front right there, kind of like a Logitech style. Bam, clips in there, really locks into place. You got a kick up too as well. You see the cable kind of flares up right there so you don't get that initial drag. But again, the cable's not that great, but heck, it's a wireless mouse. That's how we're going to be using it. Now you get this little dongle extender here, rubber grip on the bottom, and then you get your dongle. Now one really cool thing about this mouse is you can actually pair it up to multiple dongles. Say if you're using it on your gaming PC, and then you got something over here where you're streaming and you're replying to comments or working or whatever it may be, right? You can actually pair it up to another dongle. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't come with that other dongle. You only get your one dongle with it. That's one thing I really wish they would have done, because that would have kind of made it like a splash to separate it from other products, other mice on the market, is hey, you get this other dongle where you can multi-use it. That would be really cool to include in the box, but they didn't. All right, so I want to chime back in on the weight of the mouse as we look it over here, and again, we'll roll into a couple features and functions and stuff. Well, number one, this is a medium to large mouse. Let me go and put it down, slap up some dimensions right here just so you can kind of get a visual of it. I did a really detailed comparison in my wired review. Go check it out right there. Same shape, same dimensions and everything, so you want a good breakdown. But again, looking at the mouse right here, being a medium to large mouse, talking about the weight right here, this mouse is fairly solid. I say fairly solid because, again, this is a bit ridiculous. When I take the side, I don't even know if the camera can pick that up. I got some flex, and if I press kind of like medium to firm right there, it will activate the buttons. But anytime using it, me being a firmer gripper and everything, playing Call of Duty, Destiny, whether it be PvP, PvE or whatever, no matter how tight I grip it, I never activate them, and I really don't even hear that creaking within it. It's just when I get over here and lay into it. So I really don't think that's going to be an issue, but over time, will it be? I can't speak on that. But everything else, from the buttons, the scroll wheel, the PTFE feet on the bottom, everything is really crisp and really put together well and in place. Now, one thing that is different from my wired review of the XE here is 1 and 2. I don't feel them really spring back up as drastic as the wired one did. That's one thing that really threw me off right there. It's kind of weird, like pretty much every mouse is like a click, bam, and it's up. This one, on the wired version, it felt like it was throwing my fingers back up. I do not get that right here. I honestly like the way this feels much better than the wired version. Now, on the bottom, you have your DPI, your polling rate, and then your liftoff distance. But even other than that, you have 3 modes you can choose from. So I'm just gonna do one right here to show you. Hold down this button and then power it on, and you can see one of those lights flash. Bam, there you go. So you can put in standard, high speed, or motion sync mode. And in standard mode, you can get 90 hours of battery. High speed, you'll get 45 hours of battery. And by the way, the sensor is a 3395. So let's talk about all that there for a second. Standard, high speed, motion sync, 3395. No matter what mode I had it in right there, I mean, it was pristine, to the point, and absolutely solid. No lag or anything as far as my setup. And I do have a wireless headset, and a wireless keyboard connected right there with multiple other devices, right? And I didn't experience any hiccup, lag, or delay. But again, going into standard, high speed, or motion sync, testing those out, I couldn't tell a single difference. I think that might go into play if you're in like maybe a competitive mode in an environment with multiple other setups and other people with other wireless mice right next to you. Maybe, I don't know. If you use this mouse and you can tell a difference in say the high speed mode or something like that, please let me know, because I think it's just messing with our head. Now I want to talk about actually using a mouse, gaming with it. Again, primarily I'm playing tons of Destiny right now, even more than Call of Duty, believe it or not. But I want to revert back to my wired review of the Vaxee right here. I really compared it, again, dove into it more, so if you want to check it out, go look at that one, the same shape again. But I really wrapped it up to the Sensei 10 from SteelSeries here. And I think I gotta retract that a bit, especially again with the Endgame Gear wireless and then the Lamzu Atlantis. So I'm gonna put those kind of more together, which we'll talk about in a very upcoming video. What I think this is really the Pulsar. Holy smokes, that's tough on red. Let's remove that so we can see this a little bit better. I really put this in with the Pulsar X2. Now this is the mini. I would call this the X2 large. If you can see it in my hand right here, kind of look, I mean, disregard the holes and everything, but just look at it in my hands, right? So let's scooch it back right where it would be. You can see the XE kind of scooched back a little bit more, definitely wider, coming over here to the side of my palm than the X2 wireless. The X and X over here is really throwing me off. And honestly, if you look at it straight down like this, you can see what I'm talking about. They both kind of just go straight up like there. If I pull out the Sensei 10, which I talked about before, you can see it has that slight flare in the back. Same over here with the Lamzu, slight flare in the back, and you feel that back here on your palm a lot more than you do with these mice. Again, these are pretty much straight across right there. Slight flare right there. One thing I will tell you difference one to the other is the X2 almost feels like it flares a little bit at the top. Again, very hard to show on camera, but it flares a little bit at top. Come on over here to the XE. I feel like it's almost more or less straight up, and right at the top, you kind of feel a little bit more of that curve, so you feel your hand kind of sliding up a little bit. I mean, that's being very dramatic because it's not constant, but again, one-to-one, doing my test here, you can clear as day feel that difference where this is almost straight flat. This one kind of flares out, locking your hand in a lot better. But at the end of the day, no joke, that is exactly where I would put the XE. I would put it at the Pulsar X2 large. And when we sit here and wrap up everything I just said, we gotta admit, this is a great mouse. Vaxee makes awesome mice. They're right on par with like Zowie, with build quality, with that shape. I mean, heck, I believe some of them worked with Zowie before, you know? They do that right. They do it good. But where they're missing it is they're way behind the competition. I am not one to harp on weight. You all know I don't need a 50-gram stinking mouse, you know what I mean? Right at there, high 60s, 70s are perfect for me. But I do gotta say, it feels lofty compared to, again, the DA V3 Pro that I've been using, and this mouse is bigger. That's what throws me off right there. There's bigger mice that are lighter than this, with still great build quality. This also coming in at 120 bucks. Why do I get this over the competition? Well, honestly, I personally wouldn't. The one area where they could have separated themselves, even with the current weight and everything, is I think if they included that extra dongle so you can say, hey, you got this versatility right here. But right now, I just don't think there's anything really separating or pushing you towards it compared to the competition. Awesome mouse for sure. But again, it's kind of in the background of the other mice on the market right now. Now, I want some feedback from all of you. Write down in the comments down there. Let me know what you think about the Vaxee XE wireless. You think Techne's being a little bit too harsh right here? Or are you kind of on board with me as a consumer to consumer, a true user here? You know what I mean? Not some hyped up first impression unboxing type of view. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I truly do hope I helped you out in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope I catch you in the next one. We got some really good videos coming up here. The following video will be the XM2 Wii, or what they call the wireless right there. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell, because that will be the follow-up video. But again, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.